What's up guys, Ted for Immersion here, and I'm back with another Xanathar's Guide to Everything / Unearthed Arcana comparison video. This time we're talking about the Bard College of Swords. This one, we saw two versions of this. This first appeared in the Kits of Old Unearthed Arcana, and then it appeared a second time in the revised subclasses Unearthed Arcana. We're going to be going from that one because that was the most recent. It doesn't make sense to compare it to an old thing. There are a little bit of changes, and the changes are definitely for the better. To the point where I actually think I might want to build a bard to play this class. But don't let me sway your opinion. Why don't we let it talk for itself? So, bonus proficiencies at level 3. You gain proficiency with medium armor and scimitars. If you're proficient with a simple or martial melee weapon, you can use it as a spellcasting focus for your bard spells. That is exactly the same. It just says the scimitar, but that's that. And then you do the fighting style here in Unearthed Arcana. You can choose one of the two. Dueling, when you're wielding a melee weapon and one-handed, no other weapons, you get a +2 damage with that weapon. Or two-weapon fighting. When you engage in two-weapon fighting, you can add your ability modifier to the damage of the second attack. That is also what happens here. Choose one of the following. It specifies that you can't benefit from multiple, but basically dueling and two-weapon fighting. And then we have the Blade Flourish. As an action, you can make one melee weapon attack, and your walking speed increases by 10 feet until the end of the current turn. Whenever you use this action, you can also use one of the following Blade Flourish abilities as part of it. Defensive Flourish. You spin your weapon in circles, creating a hypnotic display. You can expend one of your uses of the Bardic Inspiration, rolling Bardic Inspiration die and adding the number rolled to your AC until the start of your next turn. Slashing Flourish. If the attack hits its target, you can expend one of your Bardic Inspiration to cause the weapon damage to each creature of your choice other than the target that you can see within 5 feet. The damage equals your Bardic Inspiration die. Or Mobile Flourish. If your attack hits a target, you can spend one use of Bardic Inspiration to push the target up to 5 feet away from you, plus a number of feet equal to the number you roll on your Bardic Inspiration die. You can then immediately use your reaction to move up to your speed to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the target. So that was as an action. When you make a melee attack, this happens. Yeah, so let's see what we get over here. So, whenever you take the attack action, your walking speed increases by 10 feet until the end of the turn. If you make a weapon attack as part of this action, if a weapon attack that you make as part of this action hits a creature, you can use one of the following Blade Flourish options of your choice. You can only use one Blade Flourish per turn. Defensive Flourish. You can expend one use of your Bardic Inspiration die to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to the target you hit. The damage equals the number you roll on the Bardic Inspiration die. You also add the number rolled to your AC until the start of your next turn. That is basically it's exactly the same Defensive Flourish here. Expend Bardic Inspiration die, adding it. Oh no, I guess it was originally, yeah, you expend it to add it to your AC until the start of your next turn. This does the damage, and so they combine those two together. Then you have Slashing Flourish here. You can spend a use of Bardic Inspiration die to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to the target you hit and any other creature of your choice that you can see within 5 feet. The damage equals the damage on your Bardic Inspiration die. Here, if the attack hits the target, you can expend it to deal damage to each creature of your choice other than the target within 5 feet of you. Now, it does damage to the target as well as every other creature you can see within 5 feet of you. And then Mobile Flourish here is you can expend one use of your Bardic Inspiration to cause the weapon to deal extra damage to the target you hit. Damage equals the number on the Bardic Inspiration die. You can also push the target 5 feet away plus a number of feet equal to the damage you roll on that die. You can then immediately use your reaction to move up to your walking speed to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the target. So basically, it's sort of taken on a superiority die mindset in that rather than now, when you hit the target just pushing them away, it basically has added damage as a functionality to each one of these flourishes. So now the first one does damage and boosts your AC, does damage to the target and targets nearby, does damage and then pushes them away, and everything else pretty much remains the same. And again, it is all as part of the action. It does not tap into your bonus action or anything like that. Cunning Flourish. You can attack twice instead of once whenever you use the Blade Flourish action on your turn. You can, nevertheless, still only use one Blade Flourish on your turn. Now, it just says you can attack twice, because it says up here, clarified in Blade Flourish, when you take an attack action on your turn, you can choose to use Blade Flourish, rather than here it says when you use the Blade Flourish action. So now it's just an attack, because you don't have to use Blade Flourish. So there you go. And then here for the 14th ability, whenever you use a Blade Flourish option, you can roll a d6 and use it instead of expending a Bardic Inspiration die, which is exactly the same here. So that is a huge boon, because you have limited Bardic Inspiration. You can still use your Bardic Inspiration to boost your allies, and there's nothing stopping you from using them, because at level 14, your Bardic Inspiration die is a d10. So that's potentially a d10 to your AC, a d10 to creatures all around you, pushing the creature a d10 number of feet away, or a d12 at level 15. So it gives you the option to not expend your Bardic Inspiration if you'd like to use them to boost your allies. But it also gives you kind of... Also, if you run out of Bardic Inspiration die, the entire function of your class isn't shut down at this point, which is, I guess, sort of also the thought behind that. So... let me know what you guys think. I think this one basically just got a buff, right? I mean, everything in this class pretty much exists as it did in Unearthed Arcana. It's just clarified and tweaked a little bit to be easier to read and fit within the rules. But basically, everything here remained, except all of the Blade Flourishes got a boost that they all do damage. So now everything is really just all out better, in my mind. So let me know what you guys think. Be sure to stay tuned to the channel here. You can, again, subscribe, click the little notification bell below if you like to stay up to date whenever we put one of these videos out. Next up on the list is the Bard College of Whispers. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to keep an eye on the channel. I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you next time.